All right, cool. What's going on, y'all? We back with another trade recap. Take this down so y'all can fucking see my mouth moving and see my face and shit. Um, let's just get straight to it. I took 3 trades today. I know last video and the other videos I was literally just talking about not taking 3 trades. Why should I be taking 3 trades in a day? I really shouldn't, but it was because my first trade, the reason why I even took 3 in the first place is simply because the first trade was terrible. Oh my goodness gracious. I don't know what I was thinking. Well, I do. I'm about to tell you right now. Anyways, going into market open, that's this pink line. So market opens, pretty much we instantly pump up, make an SMT, and I short. Why? Okay. So if we start and we zoom out on the higher time frame, number one, NASDAQ inverse this gap right here. Opened up another gap right here. And at the time, we were perfectly inside of it. On ES also. ES was looking super bullish. So ES was looking extremely bullish. That was one of the reasons why I really shouldn't have taken this trade. But we did have SMTs at the highs just because ES is super bullish right now. Even now, like, ES is heading towards these all-time highs, while NASDAQ is far away from all-time highs, you can see. And this is both on the 4-hour. You can see how close ES is to these all-time highs as opposed to NASDAQ's up all the way up here. But anyways, had some SSTs at the highs, whatever. Honestly, I should have just been more careful. ES was extremely bullish. Even though NASDAQ did technically inverse this 4-hour gap while ES was holding it and pushing out of it, they were both inside of this bearish 4-hour right here. I really should have waited longer and just thought, let me use it as a condition. And if we're going to respect it, then I can look for shorts to lower price. And if we take out London lows and we have no other targets to the downside, then that's just okay. I just won't take a trade today. I should have used it as a condition instead of trying to trade off of it right off the open like an idiot. But we opened up right away. If we had reacted down off this gap, we would have respected this 4-hour since we had literally just opened up 9 a.m. We also had a 15-minute above too. So this 15-minute gap was right here. So if I go back down to the 1 minute, get this out the way for you guys so you can kind of focus more on this one. But this is the 15-minute gap, this line. So we pushed up into a 15-minute gap. We opened 9:30, open high. So like the 15-minute candle was looking like this. Open high. We had just made the inverse. What's another issue with this trade? This is the inversion, the very first inversion of the leg. Because usually I would want my trade to ideally open, make that high. We make some sort of we make a low, and then we make like a manipulation of either this high or like taking out some stops. Maybe we generate liquidity and we take out some sort of stop or raid something, but we didn't. In this, I just kind of jumped the gun. I was uneasy about this trade, but what was the main reason why I took this trade? Not because of the setup. The setup looked all right. It was kind of ass now that I look back at it, because even though we did have an SMT at the high, we had SMTs at the lows, but I didn't care about those because they weren't really in anything crazy. Or inside of a 15-minute gap, PO3s there, whatever. But what's not there? The stop raid. We did not take out any stops. We did not come down. But the main reason why was my psychology, is because as soon as I saw this inverse, it happened pretty quick. Obviously, you can see we just kind of dumped out of nowhere. Closed below this 1-minute gap. I thought to myself, I don't know if I should take this trade, right? But when I thought that, I was thought back to what I was just saying in my previous videos. What I was just trying to instill in myself, hey, like, stop hesitating on these setups. Stop just forward testing them. Stop putting the position tool on and just saying, you know what, I'm not going to enter this. And then it just runs to your TP and you could have made that money. You just watched it and you didn't actually rely on your own edge. So I took the trade. I kind of FOMO'd myself into it by thinking I was thinking 3 steps ahead with my psychology. Like, if I put this trade in and it hits TP, or if I don't put this trade in and it hits TP, I'm going to be upset with myself because I should have taken it. But when you look in hindsight, I realized that I just shouldn't have taken it. This is the very first inversion of the leg. And then when you look on the higher time frame too, that's the reason why we don't take the first inversion, is like, say I go to the 5-minute right here. this doesn't even look like any sort of reversal. This doesn't even look like we're reacting off this level at all. Even if we did end up continuing higher and it stopped me out anyway, I would want it, my ideal setup, to actually look like we're gonna go down. You know, I want to make it make sense. But anyway, this trade was just terrible. So I had to realize and lock in. At first, I was still looking for shorts after the fact. However, on like the 15-minute and this 4 hour, we closed bullish, super bullish. So it's like, I'm not going to be looking for these London lows at all. Like, after us pushing through all these gaps and displacing higher, if I look on to the left of us, we don't have any like high time frame gaps over here. There is like some 30-minute gap off of this high, this lowest high right here, but we had already taken that out, and then what's it called? Then we inverse that 4 hour gap. So I really wasn't worried about that 30-minute. But I did wait to see what would happen. After reacting, after pushing up here initially, we hit that 30-minute gap, and I thought potentially we were bearish. But after making this push down, I realize what's going on, and I say, actually, we are definitely bullish. We have a 15-minute gap here. If I look at ES to the left, I wasn't zoomed in on ES, sorry guys. But we had been making SMTs at all of these lows, while NASDAQ pushed higher, ES just pushed lower. Then, what do we see? We see chop, chop, chop. There was this initial like inversion, kind of, but the thing with this one was it was supposed to be on the highest time frame. So the 1 minute I didn't really like. The 2 minute was all right, but the 3 minute had closed this doji. So I was waiting for the 3 minute close on this inversion. Come on, work with me, work with me. This one right here, boom. But we had respected this candle in there, which I just didn't like, especially with this big ass doji here, like, or this big wick up. Like, that's just not really something I want to take, where we came all the way up here and then closed down here. I don't know. You could have taken this trade still. It would have been valid once you if you had entered on this joint right here, this 3 minute close up here. But after seeing this wick, I just really didn't like it. Like, something about, like, I don't know, I just didn't want to take it. And also, if I had entered up there, my stop would have had to been down here to get a 1-to-1. I would have had to come all the way up here. So I just didn't really like it. I thought maybe we could have just reached these highs, but it was really just the wick that threw me off on that one. So I just waited longer. What we got after that was pretty much another 3 minute same kind of thing. Over this overall like chop and non-delivery with a 1 or minute or a 2 minute kind of was like irking me. But this 2 minute closed, but we did have that 3 minute still open, so I wanted to see. This is where it kind of gets dicey, right? Because it comes down to really what should I have done. Because this 3 minute, as you can see again, we don't close. We close inside of it. But how I'm thinking right now, when I'm on the market, let me zoom in here on ES. Here, I'm going to put replay on. So let's backtrack. Let me just take it back to over here. And I'll fast forward a little bit. Because why did I take this trade, right? So we can see here on the 3 minute, we do not close inside, right? But I do enter on this change in the state right here. Why? Because on the 15 minute, we tapped into this wick twice. We were at, I think we respected OTE of this range. And overall, after seeing this first 15-minute candle, honestly, this one right here, I was ready to be bullish. Because if we're going to head lower at all, or like if we're going to want to push lower, we wouldn't come and wick into this so heavily twice while making all of these SMTs at the lows over here. Like, I did not think, I thought ES was done pushing towards these lows and was not planning on taking out London. So if we look here on the 5 minute, oops, or we can even look on the 3 minute just so that it's a little bit cleaner. But we have this range. Oh no, we don't even respect OTE here. Never mind. Forget that. We don't respect the OTE. But we also had this PO3, like, look to this at this indicator, right? So we opened up here, 10-15, rejected all the way down back into this 15-minute gap, and now we're making an inversion up. This setup looked too sweet not to pass up on, even if we didn't close this 3 minute. If we're going to come down once and then twice again, there's no way we're not going up here. So I just entered on the change in the state here after the fact. As you can see, we come down one more time, but not really close to the stop loss. We push up, but what do I do here? I got a little greedy, I'm not going to lie. Just because we had so many targets to the upside over here, I pretty much just felt like everything to the left of us over here was going to get ran out. Because if we look on the hourly to the left, all of these highs are just stacked up together. So I thought they were all really going to get ran pretty fast. And that I could catch a few extra points if I just trailed my stop. So what I did, instead of taking profit here, is as soon as we took out this high, I put my stop right here. So I'll make this red as far as my stop loss. And I pretty much just got stopped out right away. As you can see, this would have been a nice little TP at the very high here. But we come down, and the thing is, I didn't even get filled right here. I ended up getting filled, like, closer to, like, here, bro. So this, but honestly, this is, like, with this trade, I like the trade. I think it was a decent trade. Would I take it again? Honestly, I think so. With the amount of conviction I had towards buys, even if we came down and took me out lower, I would have been like, all right, whatever. Like, this setup is something that I really didn't want to pass up. So, but the learning point on this, is really just taking profit at my take profits. Like, simply, like, even if I put my TP here and then put 1-to-1 or something, whatever you choose to do, right? Or, like, you know, stops at the wicks here or at the body close down here so you're above a 1-to-1. But just I want to put my stop loss into place, my take profit into place, and have a break-even point, and that's it. That's it. Like, I don't want to complicate it too much, trailing stops, all that. I feel like I'm way more satisfied when I have a stop loss, take profit, break-even, and I don't have to trail my stop and think about, like, because the amount of times I actually catch more points when I trail my stop is, like, not that often, honestly. So I want to start to lean more towards just taking profit where I can. And just to get right to the next trade, as you can see, I'm just going to delete this stuff. Let me move this back over here. Cool, because we push lower immediately. We sweep out these lows, maintain this SMT from all the way back here, while pushing back into this 15-minute gap, and pushing right into a newly formed 30-minute as well. Let me see. 30-minute right down here. So I'll put the line right there. We have the 30-minute. On the 15-minute, just look at this, bro. Look at this chart. Wick, wick, wick. Do you think you're not going to go higher after that? We definitely are, bro. After making SMTs at all the lows too. So what do? I see that there's a 1 minute. The 1 minute's not looking too promising. See how big this is. We reject lower. There's no, like, 30-second or anything in this range. The 2 minute. Oops. The 2 minute is there. Yes, but it is pretty high. And also, what do we want to do is take the highest time frame one, which would be this 3 minute. But after just losing a bit of profits on this trade that I had just took right here, I was just thinking, you know, I don't want to hold it for too long. Yeah, I could keep my conviction to this high, because really I had put my TP for this one at this high, or I was going to try to trail stops until this high. But I didn't really I had a little bit of conviction for that high, but I wasn't sure because really on ES we had these SMTs here. We had taken out this one, and we could possibly make an SMT at these highs right here and just reverse after taking these ones out. So I really didn't want to like risk it. So I just decided to enter after the 3-minute inversion here with the stops at this previous high because I was sure that if we were bullish and if we're going to open up here, even if we're going to try to manipulate down to these London lows after, we're going to take out these highs first. Here, let me replay this. I was confident that we were going to take out these highs to the left of us after inversing this 3-minute. See, 3-minute. See? So I really just entered right here, put my TP up here, put my stop loss at a 1-to-1, and then we just ripped up. Pretty simple. On the day, let's just open Tradevate, not Tradevate, TradeZella. Let's get in and resync these. A grand total of 132. Nah, pretty much break even today. I've been going back and forth on these trading days this week, so they're fairly low P&L. But as I stopped taking dumbass trades like the first one, because I lost the most on that one. I'm gonna pull over my Tradevate right here. You can see that on the first one I lost 550, and then the next two I just made 200, 300. So I barely made up that P&L with the 2 trades, then taking one. But anyways, I appreciate y'all for watching. Leave a comment if you want to. Like the video if you liked it. Dislike it if you disliked it. I'm going to catch you guys on tomorrow because I'm trading every day, baby. We here. We in the pink. Let's go, baby. Have a good day.